If you are looking for better time management, you are in the right place. This is a mini series within the Small Business Big Visibility podcast where we're deep diving into strategies, techniques, and ways that you can get better at using the time you have every day so that you can accomplish what you want to instead of getting pulled in 100 different directions. I used to be absolutely terrible, it seemed, at time management. And the crazy thing is, I thought I was really good at it. So here's how it happened. I was running a business, and every day I had all the things I was going to work on, and I'd get in and I'd work on them, I'd get them done, and I'd get done with the day. And I was like, oh man, I did so much stuff. I can't believe it. I had all these emails coming at me. I had all these phone calls coming at me. I had all these things that I had to get done. I got so many things done. And then I'd look at my schedule and be like, okay, and tomorrow's going to be just as busy. We're going to make this happen. And I'd just keep myself jazzed up day after day after day. And I'd be just pushing myself, push all day, every single day. And yet I fast forward a couple of years and I have this buddy and we both were done with school roughly the same time. And I'm looking over at him. I'm like, this guy doesn't do anything with his time. It seems like he was not really working hard. And I was just plowing. I mean, I'm talking like 12, 16 hours a day just trying to make stuff happen. And I'm looking over at him. I'm like, how is he getting so much done? And I'm looking at my goals of where I want to be in a few years. And the harder I'm working all day, every day, it's like in 5 years, I'm going to be here. And no matter how much time passed, I'm still the same distance away from where I thought I was going to be in 5 years. And my buddy, he was so far away. He was like way further away from what he thought he'd be doing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to beat him. So, and within a couple of years, he surpassed his goal. And I'm just scratching my head. How does that happen? And yet I'm not the only one. I was talking to another friend and he was working for this small company. And the owner of the company, he's like, yeah, I just work all the time. I'm going. And my buddy's like, I don't think he realizes that going to his kids' sports events is not the same as working in the business. And that was a moment of clarity for me because I started to realize not all work and not all activity is created equal. And so if you're in that position where you're just going all the time, feels like you're constantly being pulled 100 different directions, you're never sure what you should be working on, maybe you are feeling kind of organized at times, but other times it seems like you can't focus on anything, or there's so much coming at you, you don't know what to do, and then you just freeze up. If that's it, you need to watch these next few episodes. We're going to dive into strategies that really work. I have put years of research into this. I've deep dived into some of the best things and come up with some of my own things that work really well. The other crazy thing that not a lot of people talk about is there are studies out there that show that small business owners, almost 30% of them have some form of ADD, ADHD, or something in that vein. If that's the case, normal, I think it's like 3% of Americans. That's average across America. And yet 30% of small business owners have AD, ADHD. There's techniques that work for you if that's the way your brain's wired. Stay tuned. I'm super excited to share some of these with you. And I'm going to drop one on you today. And that principle is, and I already touched on it lightly, but that principle is not all work is created equal. When you realize that, everything can start to shift because you can look at your day and start saying, well, what should I be doing? What am I doing? And where do I want to be in the future? And with what I'm doing, is it guiding me there? I have one friend that has figured out what works for him. And for him, he says, I can only have one goal at a time. That's it. I can't have 5, I can't have 10. And so he picks a goal and sticks with that one goal. And everything he does relates back to that one goal. And he asks himself all the time, all right, does this activity lead me towards that one goal? Now, that's what works for him. We're going to dive into so many other things and then they will build on each other. But I wanted to leave you with one tip to think about today, because if you start shifting the way you think, even if it's only 1%, if you start shifting the way you think a tiny bit within just a few days or a few weeks, you've shifted in a big way. And it was small incremental changes that were easy to implement. And so then in a few weeks, your behavior is totally different, which means you're going to be getting completely different results. So you could easily, in the next week or so, go from feeling overwhelmed, stressed, frustrated, constantly buried to having a life that has more flexibility, more freedom, and you're moving faster towards your goals. So stay tuned. We're going to give you a bunch more tips, strategies, and tricks that are going to transform your life.